The Habsburg dynasty, one of the most significant ruling houses in European history, has left an indelible mark on the political landscape of the continent. Their influence spans centuries, reaching from the late medieval period through the early 20th century. The Habsburgs were known for their strategic marriages, territorial expansions, and their role in the complex tapestry of European politics, culture, and society. This essay will explore the origins of the Habsburgs, their rise to power, the extent of their empire, their contributions to European culture and politics, and their eventual decline. Origins of the Habsburgs. The Habsburg dynasty traces its origins to the 11th century, with the family name derived from the Habsburg Castle in present-day Switzerland. The first documented member of the family was Count Radbot of Habsburg, who built the castle around 1020. The family's power began to grow in the 13th century when they gained control over significant territories in what is now Switzerland and the region of Aargau. The key to the Habsburgs' rise was their ability to marry into other noble families, thus expanding their influence without military conquest. One of the most notable early figures was Rudolf I of Habsburg, who became king of the Romans in 1273. Rudolf's ascension to the throne marked a pivotal moment for the Habsburgs, as it began their long association with the Holy Roman Empire. His reign set the stage for future generations to build on the family's political power. The expansion of Habsburg power. Over the next few centuries, the Habsburgs strategically expanded their territory through marriage alliances and military conquests. The most significant of these was the marriage of Maximilian I to Mary of Burgundy in 1477. This union brought the wealthy Burgundian Netherlands under Habsburg control and greatly increased their power and resources. Maximilian I's reign also saw the beginning of the Habsburg policy of marriage diplomacy, which would be a hallmark of the dynasty. The Habsburgs were adept at using marriages to secure claims to territories across Europe. For example, the marriage of their daughter, Joanna of Castile, to Philip the Handsome of the House of Habsburg connected the dynasty to the Spanish crown. This alliance was solidified when Joanna's son, Charles V, inherited both the Spanish crown and the Holy Roman Empire, becoming one of the most powerful monarchs of his time. The reign of Charles V. Charles V, who ruled from 1519 to 1556, epitomized the power of the Habsburgs. His reign marked the height of Habsburg influence, encompassing vast territories across Europe, including Spain, the Netherlands, parts of Italy, and the Holy Roman Empire. Charles faced numerous challenges during his reign, including the Protestant Reformation, which threatened the unity of his empire. The Reformation, initiated by figures like Martin Luther, led to significant religious conflict within the Holy Roman Empire. Charles attempted to suppress the Protestant movement, culminating in the Diet of Augsburg in 1530, where he sought to enforce the Edict of Worms. However, his efforts were largely unsuccessful, and the division between Catholic and Protestant states became entrenched, leading to the 30 Years' War in the 17th century. Despite these challenges, Charles V was a patron of the arts and education, contributing to the Renaissance culture that flourished during his reign. He commissioned works from artists such as Titian, and ensured that the Habsburg court became a center of Renaissance culture. The division of the Habsburg Empire. In 1556, Charles V abdicated the throne, dividing his vast empire between his brother Ferdinand I and his son Philip II of Spain. Ferdinand became the Holy Roman Emperor, while Philip ruled over Spain and its extensive overseas empire. This division marked the beginning of a dual monarchy, with the Habsburgs ruling over two distinct realms. Under Philip II, Spain reached its zenith, becoming a dominant global power. Philip's reign is often associated with the Spanish Armada and the conflict with England, as well as the expansion of Spanish territories in the Americas. However, the costs of constant warfare and the complexities of managing an empire led to economic difficulties and decline. Meanwhile, the Holy Roman Empire under Ferdinand faced internal strife, particularly due to religious tensions. The Peace of Augsburg in 1555 allowed for the coexistence of Catholicism and Lutheranism within the empire, but it failed to resolve underlying tensions, which would eventually culminate in the 30 Years' War, 1618 to 1648. The war devastated much of Central Europe and significantly weakened Habsburg power. The 30 Years' War and its aftermath. The 30 Years' War was one of the most destructive conflicts in European history, resulting from the complex interplay of religious, political, and territorial disputes. The Habsburgs, seeking to enforce Catholicism, found themselves at odds with Protestant states within the empire and outside it. Initially, the Habsburgs experienced some military successes, but the war soon devolved into a protracted and bloody struggle. The involvement of external powers, such as France and Sweden, further complicated the situation. By the war's conclusion with the Peace of Westphalia in 1648, the Habsburgs had suffered significant territorial losses, and their authority within the Holy Roman Empire was diminished. The Peace of Westphalia established the principle of state sovereignty, weakening the power of the Habsburgs, and leading to the rise of regional powers within the empire. This shift marked a turning point in European politics as the Habsburgs struggled to maintain their influence in the face of rising nation-states. The Habsburg monarchy in the 18th century. In the 18th century, the Habsburgs faced new challenges as they navigated the changing political landscape of Europe. Under the leadership of Maria Theresa, who reigned from 1740 to 1780, the Habsburg monarchy implemented a series of reforms aimed at modernizing the state and strengthening its central authority. Maria Theresa's reign saw the consolidation of Habsburg territories, particularly through her efforts to centralize the administration and modernize the military. She also faced the challenge of the War of the Austrian Succession, 1740 to 1748, which arose from contested claims to the Habsburg territories after her ascension. Although she was able to retain her crown, the war highlighted the vulnerability of the Habsburgs and their need to adapt to a changing Europe. The subsequent 7 Years' War, 1756 to 1763, further tested the resilience of the Habsburgs. Despite suffering defeats, Maria Theresa's son, Joseph II, continued the reforms and pursued a policy of enlightened absolutism. His attempts to centralize power and implement radical changes, such as the abolition of serfdom and religious tolerance, often met with resistance from the nobility and various social classes. The decline of the Habsburgs. The late 19th and early 20th centuries marked a period of significant decline for the Habsburgs. The rise of nationalism within their diverse empire led to increasing tensions among various ethnic groups, challenging the stability of Habsburg rule. The dual monarchy, established in 1867, creating the Austro-Hungarian Empire, attempted to address these tensions but often exacerbated them. Franz Joseph I, who reigned from 1848 to 1916, faced numerous challenges, including nationalist movements within the empire and the pressures of modernity. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in 1914 served as the catalyst for World War I, leading to the collapse of empires across Europe. The Habsburgs' involvement in the war ultimately proved disastrous. The Austro-Hungarian Empire was unable to withstand the pressures of war, and the resulting defeat led to the disintegration of the empire in 1918. The Treaty of Saint-Germain, signed in 1919, formally dissolved the Habsburg monarchy, marking the end of over 6 centuries of Habsburg rule in Central Europe. Cultural contributions of the Habsburgs. Beyond their political influence, the Habsburgs played a crucial role in the cultural development of Europe. Their patronage of the arts, sciences, and education contributed to the flourishing of Renaissance and Baroque culture. They supported artists, musicians, and intellectuals, fostering an environment that encouraged creativity and innovation. The Habsburgs were instrumental in the development of music, particularly in Vienna, which became a cultural hub during their reign. Composers such as Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, Joseph Haydn, and Ludwig van Beethoven thrived under Habsburg patronage, contributing to the rich musical heritage of Austria. The annual Vienna Philharmonic concerts, which continue to this day, are a testament to this cultural legacy. In addition to the arts, the Habsburgs were also significant patrons of architecture. Their influence can be seen in the grand palaces, churches, and public buildings throughout Austria and Hungary. The Schönbrunn Palace and the Hofburg in Vienna exemplify the grandeur and opulence associated with Habsburg rule. The Habsburg dynasty's impact on European history is profound and multifaceted. From their origins in Switzerland to their dominance over vast territories, the Habsburgs shaped the political, cultural, and social landscape of Europe for centuries. Their strategic marriages, territorial ambitions, and complex interactions with the forces of nationalism and modernity illustrate the intricacies of European history. While their power ultimately waned, the legacy of the Habsburgs endures in the cultural and historical fabric of Europe. The art, music, and architecture associated with their reign continue to inspire and attract visitors, reminding us of the rich history of a family that played a pivotal role in shaping the destiny of a continent.